In the Middle Ages, they taught a little differently than we teach now. They teach more like in an Eastern martial art. Have you ever looked at a set of rules for, say, Go or Mahjong or something? They start off immediately saying, if you had this situation, do this. Well, how about the object of the game would be nice? You know, they don't typically go over those things first. Well, Fiore's treatise is the same. He starts off with the wrestling, and clearly Fiore was a kick-butt wrestler, because his solution to most tactical problems was, well, get in and use your wrestling advantage to take control of the fight. Well, okay, that's useful, but if you're using it in a tournament context, say, wrestling may not be appropriate. The essence, though, isn't so much wrestling. The essence of all of Fiore's solutions to these problems are always the same. One, take control of the fight, chiefly through the weapon. His wrestling art is called apprezzare, which means to the arms. Well, obviously, if you control your opponent's right arm, in particular, you pretty much control the weapon. So a lot of his stuff has you go into the right arm. After he does the wrestling, and there isn't a lot of wrestling in there, there's only a few plays, he then goes through 86 dagger plays. And there are way more dagger plays than there are longsword plays or single-handed sword plays or spear, poleaxe, or anything else. And why do you think that might be true? Yeah, that, and you probably have it with you most of the time. So my guess is that all the principles are taught with a knife, something that you usually will carry in the street. I think it's just practical stuff. This is what you're going to have. So if you read through the thing and you're trying to piece through the stuff, the tactical principles are actually not presented in the wrestling section. They're not presented in the longsword section. They're actually in the dagger section. And they're hidden. They're in the text. They're kind of poised and buried. He also presents material on single sword, a baton. There's some intriguing dual baton things, which most of the SCA two-weapon fighters have not found yet, unfortunately. Being one of those, I'm aware of it. But he also does a very long longsword section, which is mostly what we're covering here, spear, which he fights in a very strange way, and poleaxe, which is at variance with other poleaxe work that exists from Paulus Cow and Jugula Hash, etc. He also provides stuff for horseback, which is kind of interesting. The horseback stuff is all applications of a couple of his plays, Exchange of the Thrust, basically, and the Colpi di Volano. If you know those two plays, which come in the next module after this elephant session, then you can do the equestrian stuff. You'll see it. What I'm trying to build here, and we start off with the longsword stuff because people usually don't have time to go through all the wrestling stuff and all 86 dagger plays to get at this stuff. And there's no place where you can go use that stuff, really, except in the street. With longsword, though, people can use it in the SCA, they can use it in LARPs, they can use it in fencing, there's all kinds of places they can use it. And it's more interesting, and I like the longsword better. So what you'll find is that in the Schola, we teach it, the longsword, basically in 4 blocks. The first block is the elephant block. Immediately. It's the base. So this is actually the most important stuff. This is where you set your balance, you set your footwork, you set your movements, you understand and internalize the posta, you fight from within the posta, basically, at some sort of range. It involves all the way up through your strikes, your thrusts, your basic defenses, including a few of the plays, but not very many of them. And then actually trying to integrate that stuff in a sparring situation, because if you just learn the stuff in a drill, that's not the same as having somebody actually try to smack you. We're not going to do any sparring today, but we're going to get up through the defensive stuff. And then that'll give you enough to go on and practice that stuff until you've really got it internalized. But I can't emphasize enough the importance of working on this basic stuff. It's never done. I'm still working on the basic stuff as well. I've been doing this stuff for 5 years and fighting in general since 1980. I've been working on the basics ever since. You'll never have it finished. What you want is you want efficiency and elegance. If a motion feels awkward and clunky, it's probably not it. You need to kind of keep working out the kinks until you get it flowing. What I'm most concerned about today are 2 things. One, safety, obviously. Don't mangle anybody else. Sure, check your area around you, make sure you're not whacking anybody with a waster. The biggest place, by the way, where people have a tendency to get hit is when they fling it behind them. They're not looking that way. So just give a clearing turn like you would an aircraft or something. What I'm mostly concerned about is that you get that solid base. Now, point for each one of you, I tend to rotate or circulate fairly freely through everybody, fixing little things here and there. I expect that everyone will have little things to be fixed. I will too. We're going to take this at a pretty good clip. We're going to go through most of the first part of the class, and part of the second part will all be solo stuff anyway, where you're working just between the posta and such. In the afternoon, and it's fine to use sharps, etc. for that, provided that you space yourselves out and don't hit the floor. It's a very expensive floor, so even if you have a waster, don't bash the floor. Please be courteous to that. After lunch, basically, you'll want a waster because we'll start doing paired drills. So other than that, we're okay. And we have extra wasters if you don't have them. There's no problem.